All right, so you're welcome. Please, if you come in, do not unmute yourself. Please be muted. Thank you. I will appreciate that a lot so that we don't have a rowdy class. All right, welcome. And at exactly 8:30, that's the time of the webinar. And we are taking off at this time. We like to keep to time so that we also respect your own time, which is very, very critical to us. This webinar is supposed to do 40 minutes at most 1 hour. And we are hoping that we'll be able to do that timing as every one of us is okay, as every one of us will be able to get on. So we're recording this conversation, this class, this master class today, and we are hoping that we'll be able to get a recording, but of course, the recording will probably be accessible by tomorrow because that's when my team will be able to work on it and all of that. Welcome again, and thank you for joining me. Please, if you can hear me, let me see your chats in the chat room, and let me be sure that I'm not talking to myself. And that will really help us, all right?
Where do I chat from again?
Please do not unmute yourself while you're trying to chat, okay? All right, thank you so much. Okay, if there are people asking questions on how they need to get in here, please do tell them to chat the Academy official line. I will not be able to, do not chat me, there's no need, I will not be able to respond to them. So please, they should chat the Academy line and they will get responses if they want to join this class, but we've been talking about it for a long time. So today we're looking at how to create a family media plan for your family. First of all, I am hoping one of the reasons why we said that everybody in this class should have a copy of this media plan is because it is a plan. You're supposed to actually create it, not just be in the class and all of that. So we need you to be able to actually look at that plan and create it within your family and also have it, follow through with it. In the inner circle, I know that most of you here are in the inner circle, just very few people who are not in the inner circle that are here. And that's maybe it's say about 20 people or so who are not in the inner circle. And part of the things that we also will be doing is that we would at some point also make you to think of how to actually do this and then also get it as a work that you need to do with us. But specifically, this masterclass is for you to be able to look at the dimensions, media has the dimensions you have given to your home, what is happening with media and all of that. One of the reasons why we set out for this masterclass is that we realize that a lot of people do not have any routine, do not have any structure as per media plan. And then the children are allowed to just do anything. I remember that a few days ago, somebody said to me that the children were watching a particular, artist. And she was like, I don't even know how they got there. I don't even know how they started to watch this artist and all of that. It struck me when I was having this a session with this lady. And it struck me that there was no room in the home that puts a structure on what should be watched and what cannot be watched. And that led us to even creating the media plan in the first place. I've worked with the media plan from time I was sharing in that class, in that free class in the Facebook group, where I said that you need to be able to have a structure that speaks, and then you also need to be able to follow through. Now, I want to say something. Your media plan is going to come from a place of your family value. I want to believe also that a lot of people who are listening to me here have family values, right? I want to believe that a lot of people who are listening to me have their family value crafted. So what you watch, the media in your home will be, as regards your family value, it will be in the, neighborhood of family value, right? So it is the family value really that is the real, deal. That's what you would need really for you to be able to create this system that helps you in your home. So let's run through, first of all, the digital age is upon us. That's the truth. The children are going to move to school. So whether your children are watching TV, they're watching what's it called? They're watching they're playing games on your phone. It's become very hard to control what your children have access to. So at some point, you're going to likely you want to develop a plan for how media is being used. You might find that the no limit, work just so fine. No limit. The children just do what they are doing and all of that. You will need to limit exposure. So for most families, finding the balance between media and other important activities takes a lot of time, takes a lot of patience, and there are a lot of things that you need to consider. Number one is the media is everywhere. I hope we also have our copies of our media plan opened, because I'll also be showing you what you would need to do with that plan, right? So the media is everywhere. The media is everywhere, right? So it is important for us to note that when it comes to media, you can't just say, oh, my family is isolated. I need you to take an inventory of your own home. Your own home. 99% of the household with children that are like 8 and under have access to mobile devices. In fact, this time around, it's no longer 8. You have even children who are even older, younger, having access to tablets, to smartphone, and all of that. It has changed. Where you are encouraged to develop a personalized media use plan for your children. Media plan should take into account, number one, your child's age. Your child's age is important for the media plan that you're creating. Your child's health is important. The child's personality. In the academy, we've been trying to take parents from one step to another, where we teach you the personality of your child. We teach you, so many other things that you're supposed to, actually learn. All right. So the media plan should take into account each child's, age and all of that. The tool you can use to create a personalized media plan is what you have in the media plan guide. All right. So you need to consider, this is not in the tool, so that's why I'm teaching it here. You will need to consider the 5 W's approach: who, what, when, where, and why. Let me say that again. The 5 W approach: who, what, when, where, and why. All right. So the who, your decision about screen time may come. Please, can somebody help me chat in one of the academy chats? People should stop sending me chats. It's not going to help them. They should chat the academy line. Somebody should help me announcing both level 1, level 2, level and all the groups. Please, anyone you find yourself in, please send that message. People should stop sending me chats. I'm not going to be able to help them. I'm right in this class. The academy line, the admin, the back end people will be able to help them and tell them what they need to know to be able to join the class. All right. So I talked about the 4, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 values, right? The 5 things, the 5 W's, the 5 W approach to everything that you want to do. That's one of the ways, right? One of the ways to actually take a look at this. Sorry, give me a minute. All right. Okay, so we're talking about the 5 whys. So the 5 whys is the who. Your decision about screen time, right? Your decision about screen time may come down to your child's age, personality. Your decision about screen time may come down to your child's age or personality. Some children, that is the who. Some children have easier time balancing screen with other activities. For others, it can be a potentially heightened undesirable behavior. So if your child is having a hard time with social interactions and learning to read social cues, which is why I am insisting and continually we're saying that creating a roadmap for your child is key. If you don't, a social roadmap, if you don't, then being able to control the media will be a lot of trouble, right? You need to be, it's a good idea to limit screen exposure and begin to teach your children these skills with friends, with family, with all of that. Remember that children learn through relationship with people around them. Try to set aside time for interacting with others. So now we're dealing with who? Who is your child? Ask yourself, what is my child's skills, social skills? What are the social skills that my child have now? These are some of the things that will help or not help your child, make it easy for you to transition to whatever plan, media plan that you're creating in your home. So the question of who, I want all of us to write it down. The question of who is that child? Has that child developed good social skills? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. What is the capacity that that child has? If you create a plan and that plan doesn't even help you, because the child doesn't have an already developed social skill, it means that that child is going to struggle with that limitation to television. Have you also noticed that there are a lot of the times, we finish teaching and then you go and say, oh, I want to reduce screen time, or I want to reduce access to media, and you begin to struggle because this capacity, your child have not been able to build capacity outside of the media. So for you to even start that part, you need to, deal with the question of who. And for you to deal with the question of who, you need to look at the skills your child, have. Number one is social skills. Number one is impulse control. If your child does not have the well-developed impulse control, you are going to struggle with creating limits. Now, I've also seen a lot of parents who come to me to say, oh, coach, we've tried all these things you're teaching, you're saying about your children, and it's not working and all of that. Some people will tell you, I've tried everything, maybe your children are just different. No, they have skills. One of the things that I have been able to do is to create the skills that will help the children to be able to actually align in the system. Social skills, ability to control, impulse control. A lot of children do not have that impulse control ability, which is one of the reasons why a child would actually, you tell them, oh no, you said, I don't know why I actually put on the TV. I'm sure a lot of children, do that. I don't know when I had to pick up the phone and I started pressing it. Lack of impulse control. Right? Lack of impulse control. That's two. Number three, building executive functioning skill. What are executive functioning skills? You must have heard me talk about executive functioning skill, over and over again. Ability to work, with working memory, ability to control, a lot of stuff, ability to organize, ability to actually lead yourself, so to say. So if your child do not have the ability, for these things, so it becomes a challenge. It becomes a challenge for your child, because that's one of the things that your child should actually learn before they can now align, really. Paying attention. Ability to pay attention is an executive functioning skill. Organizing, planning, and prioritizing is an executive functioning skill. Starting tasks and staying focused on them for completion is an executive functioning skill. Understanding different points of view is an executive functioning skill. Regulating emotions is an executive functioning. Then self-monitoring, being able to keep track of what is going on. If you're not able to achieve these three concepts for your children, right? I have mentioned the three of them. I have said that they must have, good social skills. I have said that they must be able to actually have, well-developed executive functioning skills. And I said that they need impulse control skills to be able to actually, align to the plan that you have, especially for media, especially for children who are even older. These skills are sacrosanct because they are things that you haven't even started from the day one. So that's, that's the question of who. We've been able to treat the question of who. Who is your child? What does your child have? The question of what? As part of your media plan, you want to decide what type of media your child can have access to. Do you have access to a family computer, TV, Netflix, YouTube? None of the above. You need to carefully select a list of apps. There's something called the Common Sense Media. You can type it. Somebody should help me type it. Let me see if you get it right. Common Sense Media. I don't know if my team is even logged on right now. Common Sense Media. CommonSenseMedia.com. CommonSenseMedia.com can help you assess the kind of app that your children are going on. Thank you so much, Amarachi. The kind of app that your children are going on, they're onto, the kind of things that your children are doing per time. So the CommonSenseMedia.com helps you to analyze. Don't be lazy to analyze. Don't tell me you don't have time. That's one of the the falseness, the fallacies of parenting. Saying, oh, I do not have time to do this. You're going to put your children in trouble, in deep shit. All in the name of, oh, I cannot analyze it. Before my children download any app at all, I get on Common Sense Media and I go to analyze. That website has given you access to be able to analyze a lot of the things that you allow your children to just do. That will help you to look at the family value that you have. Does that fit into what I want my children to have access to? There was a conversation in level 2 about Jojo Siwa, and I was asking, Jojo Siwa, and one of the parents said, oh, my daughter is a fan of Jojo Siwa. Another one said, oh, my daughter watches Jojo Siwa. The funny thing is that my children don't know who Jojo Siwa is. Now, it's not, protection, it's access, right? I want you to be able to build the kind of, fundamental skills that enables you to choose what you should choose per time. So what kind of exposure, right, do your children have? These are the things that, we want to, address. What is your child watching? You need to select list of apps, video games. Before my children play video games, my husband and I played. And my children didn't have access to a video game until they turned 10. It was part of our media plan. Don't just live carelessly with, oh, anything just goes. Oh, it just happens. Somebody was in our home, recently and told the twins, oh, why can't you watch a particular thing? And she said, that is not allowed in our home. And the person tried to, what do you mean? What do you mean that is not allowed in your home? She said, because our family values does not permit it. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. Our parents will say it's not really about right or wrong. It's about what is permissive within the context of this home. That's what is important. All right. What is permissive within the context of our home? All right. So what are you comfortable with your children watching? And I remember that when our children started watching cartoon, they were about 5 or so or 6. We took our time to watch every one of them that we wanted them to watch. And we had to, do 1, 2, 3 series. That's how I got to know cartoons. That was my first time. All right. If something is not changing on your journey as a parent, you're already on the wrong path. You're already on the wrong path. In fact, you continually see yourself having a change, being able to adjust and readjust. All right. So raving about a game that everyone is talking about, take your time to learn about it. Stop telling me, oh, I'm not a media person. Oh, I don't know what this is talking about. Decide whether it is age appropriate. Decide whether it is developmentally appropriate. Even consider what your child has to gain from it. What is your child getting from this app? Those games you're giving your child to play with, are there benefits? My children don't just play any game. Are there benefits to that game? What exactly is it that your children are playing this game for? And like I said, Common Sense Media has a helpful list of educational apps for children between the ages 5 and 8. They've made it easier. There's handwriting without tears. There's Go No Do Kids, video that encourage kids to get moving. There's Crazy Girls, is a STEM-based app that lets children freely create, solve problems, explore physics. Please stop using media negatively. Let the media work for you within your context of your family value, not the other way around. The media should work for you. Do you have a family value? I'm sure that no parent in the inner circle who is there will say that they don't have a family value. Of course, that is not even possible, right? Maybe parents who are joining us outside of the inner circle, yes, it's possible to say that they don't have value. All right, but it is the first point of call when it comes to creating a media plan. The fourth thing, the when and the where. Remember, we're still looking at the 4 W's, right? And I said I needed you to take note of this 4Ws because it's not in the media plan. That's why this is a master class. All right. It's not written anywhere. This is me trying to create, something for you to actually begin to look at and think of, and then begin to actually look at how you're working, making media work for you. If you're looking to keep screen time to a minimum, or you just want to monitor it more carefully, you want to choose the time of the day, how long your child can watch it. For instance, our children will watch TV over the weekends, and there's a timeline. You don't just put on the TV and just sit down because it's a weekend. No. How do you create it? It can be 1 hour of screen time after school. There's nothing wrong with watching screen during school hours. But if you make it very deliberate, you will create something out of it. Every Wednesday in my own home at 8 o'clock, the children watch Dragon Den. Dragon Den is one of our tools to teach the children financial management. It shows on British channel on the DSTV. So on that Wednesday, we created an exception. The days that they can't meet up, we record, and they will be able to watch it and do a catch-up. On Saturday, there's a particular program on History Channel, Food of the World, that talks about how people who created the food of the world were able to do. They already know the things that they're looking forward to watching. You can make media work for you in an excellent way. You can create media in a way that it turns to your advantage, and that's what we're preaching. We're not saying that you should shut down media. We're saying let media work for you. All right. So the question of where and when, a best practice is to make sure the screen is in a common area, like the living room. Remove the screens in your children's room. It's not necessary. It is not. I am telling you something that I've also been able to learn over the years. At some point, I had screen in my children's room. I think that was about when they were, quite young and all of that. But I think after a year or so, I saw that it wasn't a relevant tool. We took it out. We took that. No screen should be in the room. The reasons are simple. You want your children to understand interactions. There are places in my home where there are no screen, happening. That's part of our media plan. Part of our media plan is we get back from work, we throw our phone somewhere, a particular place, we interact, and then when the children go back to bed, if we need to do some work, then my husband and I do a lot of work together. If we need to do some work, then we continue to do. If we don't need to do work, we just gist and catch up on something. All right? So you need to create a system that really should work. We don't bring phones to our dining table. We don't bring phones to our dining table. It's a law. So it is also part of the things that we are living. Our children don't have phones, but they can see us be able to actually live this thing. So by the time they are adults, you don't need to start struggling and all of that. And then you have screen time, and then you have TV in the room, and then you have children switching off, and then you have going back and forth. Let the TV, it's not competition. Let the TV, I know you can buy TV in all the rooms. Please remove them. It's not necessary. You don't need it for your children. Let the TV be in the sitting room, regulate what it is that they're watching and where and when. That is the question of when and where. All right. So why? Why is the next question? Why? There is no denying that technology is going to be part of our children's life. Don't kid yourself. That being said, not all media is created equal. Many tech experts emphasize quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. Somebody should write it. Quality over quantity. Don't go and say, oh, there are few things that my children will watch. But for every single one of them, I can tell you categorically, what I've mentioned 2 programs here, why my children watch them. If there's entertainment, I tell you, there are reasons why they watch entertainment. And what type of entertainment they are watching is also because, we also have created quality over quantity. It's not in the number of hours, it's in the quality. When you're selecting even the educational apps, there are things you must look out for. Number 1, never select an app that has advertisements. There have been cases where an app have actually been able to jump in jump into the faces, right, of children, right? You have an app that has, one erotic stuff, and then the thing just jumps into the faces of your children. You must not have apps that have all these pop-up advertisements. Please avoid it. Children have gone into pornography by all means. I don't download apps anyhow. If you see the way my husband and I sit down on commonsense.com, you will be thinking that we own Common Sense Media. Because even when we're done with the Common Sense Media, we're sitting down, we're analyzing the app, we download, we think of what it is. My children don't have access to too many apps anyway. So never you select an app that has advertisement on it. Number two, the app has clearly defined learning objectives. The app you're downloading for your child must have clearly defined learning objectives. What is the learning objective of that app? What is the why? Number three, the app needs to be interactive and offers feedback. The app needs to be interactive and offers feedback. Now, finding balance. One approach to media usage is to think of it like any other hobby. So if your child wanted to practice dance all day, you will likely step in, wouldn't you? So no child is going to, start dancing, and just having fun all day. You will step in and you will say, no, you need to also catch some rest. There must be balance. That's one of the things that you must consider. So when you're considering your media plan, make sure your child is making time to read, to exercise, to spending time in nature, to interacting with others. Stop caging your children inside. Yesterday, my friend is also here, right? Most of my very close friends are here in the inner circle. And, my children was, at the party. Yesterday was create a play date, and there was a party. So we decided that we would just do the party together. And my son came back telling me how they played street football. It was exciting to hear. I have not had an opportunity to create for him to play street football. They were dodging the cars. They were, it was a lot of, and the sister felt, Mom, they were playing on the streets football, and it was an enclosed estate anyway. And when he was saying it, I realized that we are not even giving our children enough opportunities. It is difficult to create it. When we're creating the social roadmap for the Gen Z, I'm sure by the time we are finish that course in this month, in level 1, you're going to see why I scream about social network. So your child will inherit a different world from that of your childhood. So you need time, you need practice. You'll be able to determine the appropriate who, what, when, why, and where concerning media usage in your home. All right. So you need to be very, very on point with it. Before we go on to creating the media plan and showing you what exactly you would need to do in the media plan is how to do the personalized media plan. All right. So we would look at that, and then we would look at all the other things that you would need to run with, right? But before we go that route, I want us to think about media, think about digital parenting. That's what I like to call it, digital parenting. Okay, digital parenting. Internet has become a very common place now in multiple ways. So we need to look at a lot of things. Practicing and parenting as well as digital parenting, they apply to both safety, in real life, safety on the web, and all of that. And we look at the parent who keeps an eye on their children online activities in order to protect them from online danger is called digital parenting. That's what digital parenting is about. So because a sudden expansion of technology enables your child to have their own individual phones, even if they don't have individual phone, they have access to your phone. So they can create social media accounts, they can use dating apps, and then on creating social media accounts, you need to make a decision. When do I want my children out there? At what point do I want them to use each kind of technology? Parents use high-tech tools in terms of cell phone, parental control, and all that. Do you know that while I was doing my research on creating media plan, I realized that the very high-tech media people, like the big boys in media, the owners of Apple and all of them, their children are very low-tech. Their homes are very low-tech. because they understand what the dangers are. Have you been able to look at how and when your children should have access to when? My children are not and when they talk about phones with other people and they say, oh, this doesn't have phone, they're not perturbed. They tell you exactly when it is that the family plan says that they can have access to a mobile phone. And I heard my daughter talking, it's dropped and I heard that. She said, having a phone is not even, what are you doing with it exactly? So there are other things I can do, but they have laptops. We decided that at this time, they should have access to a laptop, not a phone. What do they need to learn? We decided the things that we wanted them to learn. And we decided things that my children have accounts, Gmail accounts created in their name. They are learning to write, good letters. They just started learning to do that. And we're learning to also interact using all of that. Part of the things that is in our media plan is that you do not get into the internet space without a trusted adult. When you look at your media plan, you will see all of that. There's a trusted adult system. And the trusted adult system for us ends at a certain age. And these trusted adults are named, no assumptions. Parenting has nothing to do with assumptions. You assume it, then it backfires straight on you. All right? So before I think the next phase that we're going to go into is a phase on how to create this media plan and what you should be looking at. Right? We have questions. If you have questions, please do ask. I would respond, and then we will continue from there. If I cannot see any question, then we can continue. If you have questions on what we have shared so far, please share. All right. How many hours should children spend on screen? If you have a copy of Screen Time Addiction, what is too much? It gives you, a professional view to how much a child per age should be spending. If you do not have a copy, chat the Academy line to give you. After this session, I would send it to them to give you access to the Screen Time Addiction, or I can just send it to the media webinar place so that we can go and study it. What is appropriate for my child now? Go and study it. That's what you should do. What are social skills? Somebody wants to know, what are social skills? What are the things that give you access to social skills? We mentioned social skills. We mentioned what's it called? We mentioned control and all of that. Social skills, manners, working with others, interaction, communication, taking turns, using polite words. There's actually something that I have. I'm going to also share in the group that gives you, an overview of what social skills look like. Impulse control. I think I've thought about this impulse control. Somebody said, okay, let me take a look. Is it possible that a child with media rules at home can crave for things outside their family guide at home, which is why you should be able to actually help your child see, reasons behind what they are watching. Craving, oh, these things are not watching our home. We need to go and watch it. If you imbibe your family rules, family guide, your family value in your children, the mission, it's going to be hard. I have had situations where my children have left a place because what they were watching was wrong. Yes, and they were even younger. They were 8 as at that time. So if you imbibe it, it's not force. It takes time over the years. Then you will be able to have, results. All right. Please kindly define digital parenting again. All right. Okay. Digital parenting. Let me get my slide. Digital parenting simply means a parent who keeps an eye on their children, teenagers, online activities in order to protect them from online danger. That is what digital parenting is about. Can you give examples of app appropriate for age 4, appropriate for age 4+? Is that what I'm reading? Okay, It depends on what it is that you want for your child to learn. So when you say a blanket appropriate, there are too many appropriate, apps for children that age. But what is the aim of putting that app for a 4-year-old? What's the aim? What do you want the child to learn on it? That's the question. That's the first question that you should be able to answer. What do you do when you have a spouse that allows the kid to use their tab for hours on a day? Please have conversation with that spouse. That's the only thing that I can say. But please don't fight it. Look for a way, have conversation with that spouse, and begin to walk it through with that spouse. How do we censor other adults in the house to control of media like grown-ups? You need to. You need to. It is very key. Already digitally addicted before coming in to leave you. You need to work on them. It's important that you work on these adults, because if you don't, that might actually be a negative for you. I share something very interesting and important that we learned when we're creating our parenting plan many years ago. We made a decision that at a certain age, our children will not have adults, certain level of adults that are not family. When I say family, our children, to live with us. So as soon as the twins turned 8, we let go of all the nannies. Well, this was a decision we made from beginning, right? So it was easy for us to work towards it. We let go of the nannies. We let go of, in fact, Sote, the gardener. We said no. We'll try to do everything ourselves. 2 things. We wanted our children to be able to see a lot of things that we do and be able to have interactions, doing these things together. Another reason was that we wanted what we are teaching not to backfire, because I've noticed that several times you're teaching another thing, the adults in the house are teaching another thing, the children are confused. So it was a decision that we made. You need to find a way. I'm not saying that you should send grown adults out of your house, but you need to find a way that should work in your home. How do we balance it? We work from home, runs on phone, laptop. How do we make the kids restrain and understand they're not allowed to use them? Please, you need to have a system, that works. You need to be able to create, some kind of system that works. Maybe I will answer that soon when I'm doing the media plan. I told my 10-year-old that the internet environment is like a thick forest with wild animals, so they will always need an adult to navigate through. Please, I hope I'm not putting fear in them. No. There's nothing, it's not fear. You are actually, giving them what exactly it looks like. How do we stop all these advert pop-ups? Please download ones that do not have advert pop-ups. Please, you can. There are apps that do not have advert pop-ups. Please go to commonsense.com. Can you share slides in the main group? Very important nuggets here. Okay, we will try. I'm sorry I joined late, but I can't hear you, Ma. If you can't hear me, your audio is not connected. Let them know your family values upon they are coming into your home. Yes, as they are coming into your home, let them know your family values. The next stage that we're going to go to is to build your media plan. Okay, so now we're looking at creating the media plan. I said that we're going to do 1 hour here. I'm hoping that we'll be able to do 1 hour, right? Not because of me, because I had a well-rested weekend, but I know that there is work tomorrow as well, so that we can all be able to do all of this. All right, so we have the media plan right here with me. I want to share it on the screen. All right, I want to be able to share. Okay, I want to be able to share my screen. All right, if you can see my screen, please do let me know that you can see my screen. I will be grateful to receive that info, right? Screen seen. Awesome. Can we ask questions after watching the replay, please? Yes, I'm going to keep the group for a while so that we'll be able to create our plans, submit. I like results. I don't like to teach and just walk away, which is one of the reasons why we created the group for the media webinar. So if people even want to change, get in, they'll be able to get in, watch the replay, and also be able to create and follow through. So this is what the family media plan looks like. It's a guideline on media use before you give your child any gadget at all. All right. So the first thing every home should have is a written document of, in form of a plan of a media that set guideline on the media using important, skills and all of that. Your media plan should be a working document. We have been able to review our media plan over the years. Number one, the first thing you need to do when you're creating your media plan is to create family values. Now, if you don't have family values, please start from now. Go back and go and get the family value guide and go and create your family value. Now, I'm not talking to the inner circle parents. I know that is given once you get into the inner circle. Create a family value. For the people in the match batch who are also will be catching replay or watching me, you are going to also be helped to create a family value. So that's not a problem. A family value plan is a document that contains the traditional cultural values according to your particular family structure. Your family value can be that, all these. I remember that one of those days, my children had gone to a party and they were doing competition with all these songs. And, my son tried to dance and, they booed at him and said, oh, he cannot dance, nothing, even the parents there. Well, so your child cannot dance all these, new styles and all that. I smiled and my son said, well, if that is what the dance is about, I don't know how to dance it. And he stepped out of the stage. Now, it's not bad. It's not a bad thing to watch music videos, but they don't feature in my home. It's a choice. We chose. It's not whether good or bad. So that's where family values come in, into, right? Will the children do pop music at some point? Yeah, but I just don't believe that at this time, at this age where they are, music was what they needed. No, they're gonna be teenagers and do pop music one or the other, time or the other. We also all did it. But when it's time to choose, your children will choose from the value system. I need somebody to write that. When it's time to choose, when it's time to make choices, no matter what it is that must have happened in the time where they are going through whatever, their teenage age and all that, when it's time to make choices, they will make choices from their value system. It is important for you to know that. It's important for you to know that. So even when your children have gone, they're teenagers, they're now, I did pop music growing up. I did Cisco and all of that. But when it was time to choose the kind of music I would play, I agreed very closely to my family value. I didn't have a choice. It was what was embedded in me. All right. And I see my brothers go the same way. It's funny. And meanwhile, when we were growing up, we all did pop music, we all did pop culture and all of that. But when it was now time to choose as adults, we made choices based on the value that was laid down in the home. Based on the value that there are some songs that don't feature, right? When my brothers and I are doing something, we don't even discuss those kind because of the kind of value where we're coming from. When it's time to choose, your child will choose from your value system. So this must ring in your head. Never forget that. All right. So family value plan contains everything that you believe in. Your roles, your beliefs, your attitudes, the ideals. If you have not created your family values yet, you need to go ahead and get a copy for you to actually, get a copy. Then step 2, you need to establish responsibilities. Who owns the device? See, don't make it, there's no this thing. Establish a clear sense of responsibility for access and ownership. Who owns the device? What happens if it's lost, broken, falls into the toilet, whatever? Who will have to pay to fix it, to replace it? You need to consider all the possibilities. My children don't understand what happens to their laptop. When it happens, how it happens, who owns it, what happens, and how it will be fixed. Do you understand it? No ambiguity. No ambiguity. All right. So as we're all going to be working that step together. Step 3, you need to establish privacy and safety. Passwords. You, the parent, must inform the child that password to the device must be known by you. Passwords must not change without your knowledge. These are some of the things that you want to lay down. Monitoring. Let your children know from time that you're going to monitor what they do. There's nothing like sneaking. You want to sneak and go, why do I need to sneak? No, I want to protect you. That's what this is about. Don't stop sneaking around your children's device. There's no need. Discuss how frequently you want to be reading their messages. Yes, they're going to hide some for the teenagers. They're going to definitely hide some. But the ones you can see, you'll be able to decipher reading through the lines. Watch out for risky behaviors. Ensure you are open about this to your children. Don't sneak on them. It's one of the rules of media. Don't sneak on them. All right? Friends, agree with them to only text, first time, communicate with people they are friends with in real life. Part of what they need to understand is that they cannot be talking to people that are strangers. If they must, then they must get you involved. Don't assume that they should know. No, they will not know. Never assume that they will know. Staying safe, agree and set guidelines to protect your children in public. Do not use your device outside of your home. It's a guideline. That is an example. While crossing the street, this is an example. But for instance, our children don't get into the car with their gadgets. It can't happen. If you're not with a book, don't worry. You can stay in the house. So I don't travel and we're on a long trip and my children are on gadgets. No, you catch us in the airport, our children are with books. It is a choice. Again, I want to say this again and again. We need to make these choices, but let it be part of what you want to live on. Sex testing. Let your children know what it means. Let them understand where your rules are. Don't take an inappropriate picture of yourself. Say it to them. Don't assume that they won't. They will. If you assume, they will. Tell them what should be, what should come in. Photo sharing, emphasize on it. Intentional sharing of photo to your children and all of that. Before I share any picture of my children, I ask them, can I share this picture? I want them to also understand that I do not have the monopoly or the right to just share their picture anyhow I want. There are many pictures that my daughter, I've taken of my daughter, and she looks at it and she says, please don't share that picture anywhere else. And I respect that. Stop sharing picture of where your child is doing like this or doing like that. These children are digital citizens, and you must consider that. These things are going to come back to them. So please be mindful. Ask yourself, why am I sharing this picture? What am I hoping to achieve by sharing this photo? Would you share this photo with friends and parents? These are the things that you need to ask your children, teach your children, but you need to also practice them. We tell our children, you can't take pictures of people without their permission. Friends, children, you are babysitting, anybody at all. We tell our children that you don't share negative things on social media. It's sacrosanct. So anytime they find themselves on social media, not on social media anyway, they're not going there anytime soon anyway. So if you're going to get there where you're going to get there, these are the things that you must put in perspective. I remember during the online school, that I remember that a particular child was asking my daughter a picture of her room when she saw a glimpse. And my daughter said, no, I don't want to share a part of my home, on the school platform. So your children need to understand, all right? Personal information, let them know not to share personal information online. Let them understand what they need to do. Sharing device, teach them. Let them know that device is just for them. Don't tell your sister that came to the house to give your son a device. Please, you don't know what is inside your sister's phone. Don't go and tell your children, your children, if somebody comes, the first thing they do is to pick up their phone. I don't even understand that. My children, even when they were toddlers, wouldn't touch my phone to play with it. That was part of our plan. I didn't want my children to get into my phone, play games with it. It was one of our decisions. Now, I'm sharing these things as examples of the things that we, in our own home, decided to do. Approving content. We approve whatever it is that our children want to do. Stop taking laws into your hand. My daughter, does a lot of cooking. She cooks a lot of things that, I would want to do videos, create a YouTube channel and all that. My daughter says she does not want to. do, have videos yet out there is a choice. So if we're teaching our children how to make choices on media, you also need to learn to respect their own choices. So when they meet situations they cannot handle, what do? Have you told them? I started telling my children about inappropriate pictures, pornography as young as 4 years. So don't stay here and just think, oh, there's nothing really I need to teach my children. As young as what, good picture, bad picture. There was a book that we had to read. Good picture, that bad picture. Good picture, bad picture. Should we discourage our children from touching our phone? Well, it's a choice. I didn't want my children touching my phone. I didn't want them playing games on my phone and all of that, because I needed to study a lot of things to be able to do all of that. My children don't speak. My children have no business with my phone. None whatsoever. You don't touch both of us. You want to do something with my phone, you want to make a call. My son will say, Mom, because the landline is not working at home, please, can I just make a call with your phone for a few minutes? And that's the permission. I can't find my children taking phones and playing and all of that. You can't find somebody visiting our home and the children picks their phone. No, these things have been taught over the years because they are also part of a working system. All right. Our family list of trusted adults, who are they? Put them together. People your children can turn to. Let your children know the people that are trusted adults. I remember that my friend, I don't know if she's here, I'm one of the trusted adults for her teenage daughter. And I remember in December, they wanted to go for a party. Very, very heavy looking party. She's a teen. And then she calls me, Auntie Wendy, there's something I need to send to you now. She couldn't tell her mom. She sent it to me. Don't ever think that. Get mentors for your teenagers. Get people that they can trust to talk to. By the time we analyzed it, we did a lot of process. She agreed that I could go with her. And by the time we now dug deeper to it, we now saw that this thing, I think you should step back a bit. And eventually she agreed with me. Her mother didn't hear what kind of thing that would have happened there, but I knew, and she could talk to me. Listen. Trusted adults. For your younger children, it could just be you and your spouse. Who are these trusted adults? List them. Don't assume them. So that your children don't run into the hands of the wrong people. All right? For your children who are older, teenagers, you can get teen mentors for them. That also verified teen mentors, please, not just anybody. Step 4, create your screen policy. What is your screen policy? Where do you use screen? I've already said it earlier that in my home, we don't do screen in certain areas. On the dining table, forget it. You do screen, you're reminded self, as in it's like you've committed an offense. It could be anywhere else. On the bed, sleeping, there's no screen. It's time to either just, when we're watching a movie, there's no screen. So you need to understand, create screen policy. Create screen-free times. You should not use your device, in many situations. While doing homework, during family time, meal times. It can be anything. 1 hour before bedtime, while in the bathroom. In fact, recently I used to be a believer of take my phone to the toilet. It used to be an inspirational space for me. I go there, I can create. Don't mind me. But when we created this, I had to, step back and respect the rules. Because I also do not want my teenagers getting into the toilet with a phone and just staying there because they are just there. I want to also model what I want. Choosing media. Choose media that is worth your time. Most apps are created, are designed to keep you using them, but they serve no other purpose. That's why I mentioned that you can use Common Sense Media to find reviews about age-appropriate apps. Please just go to commonsensemedia.com. Don't be lazy about it. Go and find it. I won't do that research for you. Go there and find age-appropriate apps, games, program. Diversify your media. Optional is usually based on your family values. Use media as a way to promote interaction, connection. When you need to see where we're discussing the Dragon Den in my family. The Dragon Den is an entrepreneur show where people come and pitch their businesses and they are giving funds to go and do their businesses. You need to see how we pause, discuss. What do you think that woman would have done? What do you think? So we put it, so it's for our own good. right? You have access to a wide variety of media. Please diversify. Let it be a form of interaction. Some of the connection tools that we do is also, form of interaction and all of that. Step 6, I've talked about this, social skills. You need to engage on social skills. While using, their devices, children must be taught, right? Children must be taught to have good manners, relating with family members, individuals. All right?
So, how about
Mute
we
yourself. Don't
cover
unmute yourself. Please do not unmute yourself. Let there be set rules, right? While no device, while other people are around, like friends and mentors, you don't do on the system. Please, can you not unmute yourself, guys? Thank you. All right. Choose calling over texting. We're constantly telling our children, you need to call instead of just texting. Please call. Give yourself opportunities to talk with friends, their parents, creating social network generally. I'm going to make emphasis on this in level 1 at our meeting at the end of the month. Creating a social roadmap for your Gen Z, and all of that. Do not bring device to the table and all the things and all of these things. Then step 7, becoming a digital citizen. I've said it before, we're digital citizens. Don't use device to lie. Do not involve yourself in conversations that will hurt others. Different things that people do online. Censor yourself and all of that. And stick up to others online. So many things that are also happening. I'm also trying to leave a good digital footprint because I don't want when my children come on social media and they put my name and what comes under it. I don't know. When you go on, I see a lot of people on the TIP big room where people are just abusing others, and I'm like, do you even think that your children can come online, put your name, and see all the things that you're saying? Does it really scare you? You need to be able to also leave these things. Right? Step 8, you need to create balance. We've talked about that. Create balance, right? And we said what you can do and all of that. A quick checklist before you give your child a gadget. You find that checklist right in that media plan. We're not going to go over it, all right? And then the media plan has this template. Please, I would like you to use this template, print it out, and submit to us in 2 weeks. While you are whoever has attended this master class, right? This one I might not be able to hold you because this is just a master class. If you're in the inner circle, I might be able to chase you. But if you're not, I will not be able. The inner circle parents know how I chase them and how I threaten them all the time. But if you're not, I might not be able to be for your own good to actually adhere and do it. I'm pleading that it will help you to be able to do some of these things. Responsibilities. Who are these? What responsibility do these people have? And then privacy, safety. Will abide to the following privacy and safety. Create your own privacy and safety rule peculiar to your own family. All right. And then screen policy, media choice. Let your media choice be well stated. What I'm sharing with you are the things that this is how we created it in my home. The kind of media acceptable in our home is not, I don't care what other people are watching or how people are woke on some areas. It's a decision that we have made. You can decide what you want. The kind of media that is not acceptable in our home, it's clearly written that there are some things you can't watch in the home. People have come to the house to tell the twins, you can watch where you're not watching this. My children will say, we don't watch it in our home. And when they get outside, you tell them to watch, they tell you we don't watch, we're not allowed to watch it because of so and so. Because when we do, this is this and that. Social skills, we will develop and maintain social skills when you're using these digital gadgets. Please put it down. We will remember the following rules in the digital world. Put down the rules for becoming a digital citizen. Please print these things out. Balance. These are the activities that we're going to be doing in the home aside gadgets. Already, if you're in the inner circle, then you're going to have this, balance. You have many of activities we've already created for you to be able to see. All right. Okay. So let me stop share so that we can go back and I will see what it is. If you have questions, ask me. We're about to round off this class. We're about to round off this master class, and we're hoping that you will be able to actually do a lot of these things. Okay, should we discourage our children? Yes, I tell them my phone is not a toy. Angela, that's the word. My phone is not a toy. My children knew this from even when they were year one. Nobody ever used my phone to play game. I don't do all of that. No, I don't. My phone is not a toy. I will buy you a toy, you play with a toy, not my phone. All right. If we discourage going to the toilet with phones and then is replaced with books. Well, my children do toilet with books. Even with books, I'm trying to stop it becoming longer times in the toilet. I also do books in the toilet as well, growing up. So I'm a bit subtle about that. All right. What about games? Please, RPS okay for young children of 7 to 10. Well, my children never had a PS game in the home till they turned 10. It was part of our media rule. And now there's a PS4, they know when to play it, when not to play it, and all of that. It doesn't control them because there were skills I needed them to build. Executive functioning skill, impulse control skill, I needed to build it in them before I can say games can be very controlling. We need to be very careful. So before I could say, yes, this thing can come into the house and become part of the home. So you need to really, watch that. If we discourage going to the toilet with phones and then replace with books, won't they still spend same time in the toilet just because they want to finish the books? Oh, well, these are just, why should they go to the toilet with phones anyway? All right, I can see more questions, but if you have more questions, do let me know. All right. If you have more questions, do let me know. All right. Somebody said, please, this media plan, does it affect me like I want to watch a personal movie? I like relaxing and calming my neighbor music. Can I enter my room and work personally, maybe with my phone or laptop? No, it depends on you. What is the that's why you need to create a system, for the media. What is the media? What is it really about? What is the media plan about in your home? Does it permit you to just go and watch your own movie, at a time where everybody should be relaxing? It all depends. That's why I said it depends on exactly what it is that is in your media plan. So you must create it. All right. I remember you mentioned that the media plan begins to participants of the masterclass. I haven't gotten mine. Yes, I'm going to please share to everybody who registered that I haven't got the media plan before. I'm going to share it on the platform. For toddlers, can we use apps that are educative and simple for particular daily time and a few times a week? Please refer to the screen time addiction. I will share it on that group as well. Screen time addiction. What is too much? Understand what your child should have access to first. All right, it's important. Then you can now create, the educational app and all of that. And hey, truly speaking, your child might not need much of it at that age. Coach, for we that our children are used to our phone and playing games with it, how do we stop this? Begin to build social skills, begin to build executive functioning skill, and begin to build impulse control and begin to withdraw from it. If this is what you want to do, not to let your children use your phone as a game and all of that, then you need to start building your children. So it's the same way you're going to be building them for TV, for media, everything. It all falls into the same space, really. It all falls into the same space. All right, are we there? In my home, phones and books are not acceptable in the toilet. They can be addicted to it if care is not taken. I agree with you. The book one, I got addicted, myself growing up. I was a bookie, as in what you call it. I read all sorts. I have a spare phone. They use the apps on learning age-appropriate programs. Is that okay? Yeah, depending. Have you been able to ascertain that those apps are actually okay? Please go to commonsense.com. Don't assume. Go to commonsense.com and go and access the app that you are using and make sure that they are okay for your child. Please, I don't want us to just assume anything so that we are also not just, making errors, right? I've shared the screen time book. I've shared the screen time book. Please get a copy to know the age appropriate. How do you know age appropriate books? Juliana, I'm talking about age appropriate books. You need to first of all look at the learning style of your child's interest, And then, look at the age, that has to do with what it is that they are learning for now. We do a lot of books in my home, and I could give you my vendors details, and you will get, the books, and she'll be able to guide you on what to do. My vendor is in Port Harcourt, but can send to you anywhere, and then you can actually work from there, right? Yeah, books with pictures, that means it's a learning style. We've been on cartoon fast right now, and it has come, I like what I'm reading, and it has come to terms with it. We all realize they are not teaching the right thing. So that's it. You need to be able to look out, you need to be able to look at what is that, for your children. It's very important. All right. My children, I bought some books and she doesn't like small print. So look at what is her learning style. That should be the first place you should, be looking out for. Oh, Juliana, you're in the UK. So I think you should be able to find a wide, range of books that can help you. How do we use Google with the children when their homework? Do we control stuff from popping up? Please use parental control. Use parental control on your system. That can help you. You can also use Capacity Kids. Capacity Kids, we have Capacity Kids installed on our children's system. So whatever it is, they are doing, the Capacity Kids can also help us block some stuff that they're not supposed to actually read. There are some things they click on, they can't watch it. How do I stop my children from watching TV when I'm not there? Our screen policy is to watch TV on the weekend. When I'm not there, they put it on. Which is why from the beginning I said that if you do not build impulse control, please, Omar Ibrahim, I don't think you started with us early. I think you should catch a replay. It will help you. If you don't build impulse control, if you don't build social skills, and you don't build executive functioning skill, you will battle with this. So it's not going to come as automatic. Please catch the replay of that session. I'm also putting together building impulse control, executive functioning skills as a guide to also help us to be able to, put a lot of things together. We're also out on Cartoon, and I'm adding discovery to it. Oh, please, discovery, so awesome. We do a lot of discovery in my own home, and then Awesome teaches a lot of, stuff. Yes, National Geographic and all that. Yes, add discovery. Also you can add some programs on financial this thing and all of that. She only prefers to read at bedtime. It's difficult to get her to read. That's why, Juliana, what is her learning style? Please get on to what her learning style is first. That will help you to work from there. Her learning style, her interest. Your child will not read what she's not interested in and what does not conform to her learning style. I would suggest that you take the learning style course, understanding your child's learning style. That will help you to open up your mind to how your child reads and what your child can read. I use the same principles for my son who wasn't a reader. Most kinesthetic learners will not read, except you find the key to their reading. Well, fortunately, this class session is not for that. All right, I can't see any more questions than I have. Only 5 minutes and I'm out of here. Only 5 minutes and I'm out of here. Like I said, you're going to get a replay of these sessions during the by tomorrow, when we'll be able to put it together and then share a link for you to catch replay. And if you still want to go through it and build your media plan, please, by all means. For those of us who didn't join, they can still get a copy of the media plan, put it together. I do not want you to attend this class and just say, yay, I want you to build the media plan. Please, make sure you print it out, just use that template and fill it in, please. I'm begging you. And you have 2 weeks to be able to submit. In 2 weeks, we're going to disband that group and take it out as, the media journey, right? So yes, there is a replay. There's going to be a replay. So we'll just remove it, all right, after 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, we would be having you help us just print out the media guide. Look at that sheet and put these things together, discuss it with your children, and please don't take these things for granted. And if you have younger children, please, don't say, oh, this thing are for people who are teenagers, it's not for us yet, we've not reached there. The best time, one of the reasons why my children will not put on TV when we're not around is that we started early. The best time for you to do this is to start early. Please start early. Don't leave your journey to chance. If you're not part of the inner circle, this is also me, calling you and telling you to actually start your journey, in consistency. Today, one of my best friends, who joined the inner circle this year, said to me, I am just grateful. She was sharing a testimony and she said, I'm just grateful for the inner circle. She's one of my closest friends. She can sleep on my bed and all of that. And she said, I'm grateful. I didn't even know what I had missed throughout last year. I'm just grateful for this inner circle. This must be totally divine. I don't even get it. There's a lot that have changed, in my home. For consistency's sake, all right, take this journey more seriously so you can begin to build in a lot of things. You can see how many things I've said for you to have a successful media plan in your home: social skills, executive functioning skills, and impulse control. Without that, you will struggle with a lot of these things that we're saying. Thank you again for joining me in this masterclass. I'm hoping that we'll be able to create more. And because we're also having more persons into our team. By tomorrow, we're going to be introducing a new person of our team to you guys. She's going to be joining the academy as a full staff. She's volunteered for the academy for a long time, and we're very excited about tomorrow. Yes, we're going to have her full on board with us, and so we're going to be doing an official introduction. And thank you also for trusting us, and I'm hoping that the more team members that we have, the more we'll be able to create these sessions that will give us insights. For me, it is beyond just coming for these classes. I want results. One of the things that drive me is seeing that you have results, is seeing that you are actually doing these things and you are able to implement them. Knowledge is one thing. The knowledge that actually transforms is the one that you actually put in use. The knowledge that actually transforms is the one, that is actually put in use. If you do not transform, right? If you do not make use of that knowledge can't transform you. So don't just hear these things and you say, oh, I have knowledge. Oh, I know it. You don't know it until it makes meaning in your life. And until this knowledge, shows in your life, it makes meaning in your life, then it's not a knowledge that you should have had. You will be like every other person, whether you have it or you don't have it. So for you to actually say, I have this knowledge, it means that you've been able to, practicalize it. You'll be able to put it into process and you have the result with it. The same thing with the word of God. The word of God, makes us, he said the word of God is the one that has result in your life. That's the one that makes meaning in your life. So it is important, right? It's important that you put these things in place. If you have picked in, everything I've said today is not for you. There are things that are for you. Please pick it and run with them. Right? If you've picked anything, thank you, Chineke. I've already downloaded Dragon Day. All right? So if you picked anything, run with it. Don't get overwhelmed. Implement one step at a time. You are better with one result than with many knowledge and no result. So please put this into practice. I am passionate about seeing parents change this narrative. Trust me, if I can open your head and put some of the things I have said and transform a lot of things, I would do it. That's how much, I want to see this, reviews. I want to see this transformation. Please go to work. Make sure that you end up creating this media plan after today. Don't just leave it, please, so that we can walk through and also, be able to raise people who will transform our world tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody, for a session like this. I don't take it for granted that for every time we almost get overwhelmed when we say, come and learn, we actually end up, getting overwhelmed in the academy. Sometimes the team will say, coach, please don't announce yet, so that we'll be prepared for the people. I just want to say thank you for trusting us in the academy. We don't take it for granted. One of the greatest things that you do is parenting. And that you allow me to be part of your process, to have a piece of me in your process, is a privilege that I can die for. I thank you again and again for trusting me and for trusting my team. Please, if you have anything at all, please reach out to my team. And remember that you can also have direct access to me. Please, you can reach out to me and I will be able to create a time. Even if I don't answer you immediately, just be sure, even if I do not, chat up immediately, but just send me a prompt and just be sure that I am committed to making sure that you walk a journey that will save the next generation. Thank you, everybody, and do have an amazing week ahead. Please remember that we'll share this recording by tomorrow. Please go through it and create that media plan. We'll be waiting for you to share your media plans with us. 2 weeks is your timeline. You don't even have more than 2 weeks, but more than 1 week. But I'm just thinking, so that by the time people catch replays and all of that. So please help us help you. Thank you so much. And I really do appreciate it. I see you all, my yard people, Tinu Ade, Lizzie, the senior yarders. I see you people. I see you, Amara, Angel, Ujumwa. There are so many things that I want to be able to do, create. I'm trusting God that we'll be able to also, create some of these things and we'll all learn and benefit from it. Thank you, everybody, and do have an amazing evening and week.